Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we got to talk about the announcement that the full cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 has just been released. And guess who's back? And guess who's gone? We about to get into that. But listen, I cannot not start this video off without saying, yo, today my book, The Wickedest Wives, book 2 in this series is out on Amazon right now. Go and get your copy. You can order your hard copy, your paperback, and you can get it on the Kindle as well. So go ahead and get it. And we're going to get it to some other retailers as well. It will be on Audible in just a few weeks. So let's go. I'm super excited. And the reason I'm still dressed up is because I went to Good Day DC. I did the Celebrity Dish, and I did the Lion Lunch Hour today to promote. We're going to hit up a couple of other spots as well. So listen, we in full promo for the book. Now, let's talk about Housewives of Atlanta and who's coming back and who's not. And I got to go ahead and let y'all know BravoTV.com and Bravo TV on Instagram and on the Twitters, okay, have let us know exactly who it is that's coming back for season Sweet 16. And we about to talk about it. Let's go. Okay. Boom. Introducing our sweet Real Housewives of Atlanta Peaches for season 16. We have Portia Williams in the building. Boom. We have Kenya Moore in the building. Bam. We've got Drew Sidora back in the building. Now, what? You know, when there was no announcement about Drew and when Dr. Heavenly was interviewing Drew, and I had heard from another reliable source that Drew would potentially be returning, I had thought to myself, I'm still a little angry about Drew from last season and us not finding out what was this tea with her and Ty, okay? I just felt like we had so many questions that were unanswered, and we still don't know what's going on with this divorce, but I'm assuming we'll find out as much about their divorce as we find out about Portia and Simon's divorce. So I highly believe that we won't really get much about either divorce, okay? And listen, I know, I understand. I mean, it is what it is, and that's just the thing of it all, right? So let's move on along. I'm not mad at Drew, though. Contrary to popular belief, I like Drew. Side note, if y'all vote, go out and vote today, y'all. Like, I mean, if you don't do nothing else, do your due diligence and vote, okay? I voted today. This took me so long to get home to do this video because I had to go and do my civic duty. And a decision to not vote is actually still a vote. So there's that. All right. We have Shamia Morton. Now, we had always heard, like, it had been on the streets, and I can't remember who was the first to report it. So please charge that to my mind and not my heart. But we had always heard that Shamia Morton was going to be a part of this cast when there started to be speculation about the casting process, right? And so we remember she was on that list that had come out a while ago. So I'm not really too shocked to hear this bit of tea, right? So if we got Shamia, I mean, would it make sense then if we had, I don't know. I mean, what could potentially possibly be, I mean, some type of, celebratory type situation going on with Shamia? I mean, would that not make just a wee bit of sense? We're going to talk about that because Shamia has just celebrated her birthday. Do you guys follow Shamia on Instagram? If you have not, well, you probably need to start doing so because you're going to be seeing a lot more of her, right? So if we know that Shamia's birthday was this week slash, this, I don't know if it's this week, this weekend, or, I don't know precisely what day. But what we can say is that.
And your gift is.
Celebrations.
Sorry, you have to wait till Saturday.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Look at this.
Nothing else? It's got shake it. Show the camera that it's empty because I don't believe this.
Okay, so if Shamia is celebrating her birthday and Portia was filming video of a private party, and then Gerald had potentially, or someone had given, it seemed like it was Gerald, had her husband, had potentially given her a gift that said, you might have to wait until Saturday. Does that mean that there could be some filming event going on this Saturday? Because Portia let us know that filming would begin this week. So one would likely assume that there might be some celebration for Shamia. Could that be our first all cast event? No, I don't know. You know, the boots on the ground are booting, and so we'll just have to wait and see. But that is a little bit of tea from me. Okay. Shout out to the boots on the ground. All right. Let's get back to who else is on the cast. We have Cynthia Bailey returning as a friend. How do y'all feel about this? Okay, that's what I really want to know. I personally am not mad at any of this list. I feel like this group right here makes sense as a core. We're familiar with these ladies. You know, Shamia has been on the periphery of this group for a very long time in a much different way than Marlo, if you ask me. But and so she's, you know, obviously she's married. You know, she is got a big friend group, and this friend group is connected with Portia, with Candy, and even with Kenya in some respects. And then you add Drew to that mix, and I feel like this works. And then you add Cynthia to this mix, and this works as a friend. Cynthia doesn't really have to do much in terms of giving much in the way of her personal life. So there is that. I'm not mad at this so far. And then we, of course, we gotta jump right in. We don't see Sheree on this list. We don't see Sheree anywhere on this list. Now, a few weeks ago, we had talked about, was it a few weeks or maybe like last week or a week ago or so? Anyway, we talked about how Sheree had posted this post on Instagram saying she always gets what she wants. But I don't know if she got what she wanted in this situation because she is not listed here on this list. Now, maybe she decided that she didn't want to return, but I think it's more than likely that she probably just didn't make the cut, unfortunately. Also likely because she and her She News or She by Sheree, maybe this segment should be called She News because she unfortunately is not listed here. And also, she got a comment from Mr. Martell Holt that said Mrs. Martell Holt or something to that effect on said post. And so maybe she is busy planning her wedding. I don't know. You know, who knows what she is up to, but I hope she is well. I personally like she, but unfortunately, I don't know that she fits with this group. So there is that for She by Sheree. We do wish her well. Sheree is Housewives legacy. You cannot take that away from her. And I do think that there is space for Sheree in the greater NBC Universal, Peacock, Bravo universe in some other respect. So I wouldn't rule Sheree out of seeing her on something else in the way that we have seen the network work with Phaedra. And now Phaedra has, you know, eased on down the road back into several shows. Okay. So let's not count she out yet, but she ain't on this list. Okay. So moving right along, let's discuss the new ladies. Angela Oakley, speaking of She by Sheree, she who is now married to Sheree's ex-boyfriend, Charles Oakley. Okay. We talked about her just yesterday, I believe. Was it not just yesterday that we talked about her? I think it was yesterday that we talked about her. So I'm going to pull up some visuals for you guys because I think that this is important. As you know, we like to do a little bit of show and tell on the channel. And shout out to our friends over at Mr. Housewives, who has provided us with great visuals and backstory for some of our new ladies. All right. So here we are looking at, again, another diagram, okay, of the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 16. So right here we see Portia, and of course we see Kenya Moore. But who are our new ladies, right? We have Britt Edie. So let's talk about Britt, all right? So Brittany, all right, is apparently the ex-girlfriend of Rick Ross, and she used to be best friends with Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives. So that's a little bit of a connection there. She kind of puts me in the mind a little bit of like Fallon and somebody else. Who else does she sort of resemble? Or maybe it's because I've just seen her in so many like Instagram photos and a part of so many things that maybe I just feel like I'm more familiar with her than I am. Very gorgeous woman here. So I'm excited to see what she can bring to the show. I want to say, is she a real estate agent? I cannot recall if she was a real estate agent or not. Anyway, and then we also have Kelly Farrell. All right. So Kelly has been featured on a lot of the cooking shows you've seen her on Food Network. She has a restaurant called Nana's Chicken and Waffles. It has 2 locations in Atlanta. Shout out to Mr. Housewives for this good intel right here, breaking on down some of the specifics about some of our ladies. Okay. So we have, an entrepreneur up in the building, to go along with some of our other entrepreneurs. All right. And then, of course, like I said before, we have Angela Oakley. Now, I'm assuming her maiden name was Reed because that's what we had her listed as before. But Angela is married to former basketball player Charles Oakley, as we spoke about, who happens to be Sheree's ex-boyfriend. So this is kind of what was making me believe that Sheree could, in fact, be back for another season. But unfortunately, she did not make this particular cut. Okay. And then again, here we also have Shamia rounding out the group. I personally am okay with Shamia being here because I just kind of feel like she's a natural fit with this age, and sort of this demographic and this sort of who's who in the girls clique of Atlanta, or at least one of the girls cliques of Atlanta. And so I just kind of feel like she fits in with this group rather well, personally speaking, right? And of course, like I said, we have our other, known housewives and friend of. But that is our cast for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, y'all. We have finally got the full cast. I just knew we were going to get this cast list. If not this week, then next week, because I just felt like it was just going to be too much momentum going. And people, the Atlanta streets are always abuzz with celebrity activity, and there was no way you were going to be able to skirt around who was filming with who. So I'm glad that they went ahead and did it, and I'm glad that we have 3 fresh new faces joining the mix. And I'm not mad at Cynthia, kind of, hanging out with the ladies, because Cynthia, little did we know at the time that while maybe her time was up as a full-time, she has a refreshing energy that I feel like does really well on these shows. And as you guys can see, I mean, she also bounced into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when she needed to, okay, as a guest. So let me know in the chatterization what you guys think of this cast. Are you here for it? I am super excited to read your comments. What do you think about Sheree not returning? Do you think that her time was up anyway? Is there anybody that you think was miscast? Who would you like to see replacing someone if you would? I personally am happy with this. I don't mind this cast. I am just really interested to see what happens. And I really, you know what, I really don't want to see happen with Portia and Shamia both being on the same show because they're such good friends, is unless they can maintain a Giselle and Robin level type solitude with each other. I mean, not really solitude, but like um just in terms of like sticking together, then that does worry me for them because we've seen it happen to many friends on the show. And I think that they even had their slight little something go on in season 9 of Atlanta, you know, a rough patch there. And then we've also seen Kenya and Cynthia, you know, have a rough patch on Ultimate Girls Trip season 1. So, and then of course we've seen other, you know, really good friends fall out. So I just don't want to see that happen personally. I'm just over that period in Housewives where I just don't want to see that. So I just hope that they can maintain that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I'll, of course, catch you. There is some other news that's popping off, but honestly, I'm having a really, really good day. And so at this point in time, I'm going to talk about this. We're going to keep this popping. And we're going to celebrate the fact that this book is now out.